for what you're about to read. Is anyone out there bloody thirsty?
I'm bloodthirsty, see?
I have to be honest, this is a story that has always stuck with me, given what this beverage and snack machine is offering. While I knew where the story was going to go, and I've adjusted the violence in stories and media, something about how it was described in this story made me a bit uncomfortable, especially with its aftermath. I mean, what happened to basic vending machines that would just plop out a can of soda or a bottle of water? Did I really need a cup of what looks like blood in it? Whatever it is tastes really off. I would be more upset at what the product is, but I'm more upset at the prices. They're way too high for any working class Joe to afford. I mean, 21 grand for a drink and snack from USAM. That's highway robbery. Nowadays, you can get a full meal at any fast food joint for like $5. Stupid all new and improved vending machines for their illegal and horrifying products at extravagant prices that only the elite can possibly afford. I mean, I'm just going on and on about this as the audio seems to be fading out. Yep, it's getting hard to hear me, isn't it? I don't know what it was. Some sort of weird delusion? Accumulation of stress from days of little sleep and caffeine-spiked semi-consciousness? I can get pretty addicted to caffeine, but I'm not even sure what really happened last night. That moment when I left that conference building in Manhattan. Still, I remember everything. Sometimes I wake up at night with that warm, bitter taste in my mouth again, and I'm not sure whether it's some sort of recurring dream, but it keeps happening. And I know I've been going back for more. It's been more than 10 nights a month now, since it started 2 months ago. You sure you have a ride? I rolled my eyes. Dude, just leave already. My colleague retorted. It's midnight, kid, and this is New York City. Pretty shady stuff can happen in the city. I tapped my watch. Julie will be here in 15 minutes, and my sis is always on time. I'll be fine. He got into his cab, flashing me an annoyed look. Alright, try not to get mugged out here. See you later, kid. Whatever, Chad. I watched his taxi maneuver around the parking lot, and then screeched down the street. Then it was just me, alone in a deserted parking lot. Everyone had already left. There weren't any public benches of any sort, and I sort of got bored standing and waiting. First, I played Candy Crush, but my phone shut off somehow after 5 minutes. Though, I remember charging it full that morning. With nothing else to do, I started looking around. Just 10 feet away, I noticed a large blue and lime green vending machine that I hadn't seen before. Must not have paid attention, and thought that since there was nothing else to do, I'd waste $1 buying some overpriced snack just to pass the time. Julie was taking a long freaking time to get here anyway. It was a really weirdly designed machine, with all these carnival lights and little kid button things like a clown-themed Nintendo game on crack. Like it was marketed to 6-year-olds who like tie-dye and an overdose of colors. Across the top, it said, "The all-new improved Universal Beverage and Snack Machine," in large, bold, capital font. On the right side, it looked normal, with a bunch of letter buttons, a coin slot, and the place where you would get the change from. There was a compartment that the cups and drinks probably came out of, and a push-in safety door thing you'd see on most snack vending machines. On the left, it got pretty confusing. What the heck did USAM stand for anyway? Or BRI, and CADA for that matter? It was just a weird menu list in varying colors and fonts. And there were columns of stuff, and I still have no idea what they meant. I'm guessing they all stood for some stupid shit, and whoever designed the stupid machine just needed more space. Whoever designed the thing must have been a raging sociopath too, because everything was extremely overpriced. Apparently, USAM cost 21 grand. I thought I had miscounted the zeros or something, but I checked it a few times, and that's exactly what it said. Is stuff seriously more expensive in this city, or has inflation suddenly gone up when I wasn't paying attention? RUSA was $10,000, and well, CINA was cheaper, about 1,000, and IDA was 500. I looked through the list and found one I could actually pay for, KMYA, $5. I unfolded the paper bill from my wallet and shoved it up in the dollar slot. The machine buzzed for a second, and then the screen blinked, flashing out, payment accepted. I pushed out the letter buttons to spell KMYA, and hesitated. I was probably just wasting money, out of boredom too, which makes doing all this pretty pointless. Julie was probably going to be here any minute now, but I'm already stuck with it so far, and who knows if the shitty machine would give my money back. So I pressed the button marked confirm. I'm not making this part up, I swear. I heard a gunshot, and a child screaming and screaming and screaming. I stood there in shock, my hand still on the button, and the machine started to move, vibrating and grinding and churning and gurgling like a washing machine with a brick thrown into it. A paper cup dropped into the cup compartment, and the screaming didn't stop, just screaming and pleading and never-ending screaming. There were choking sounds, and suddenly there was red. So much red, like cherry soda, but thicker and redder, as it poured out in gallons and gallons into the cup and overflowed and kept going, frothing down the side of the machine and pooling around my shoes. Red liquid that smelled like blood. It didn't seem like it was going to stop. I just stood there and shut my eyes and tried to stop hearing as well, but the screaming just wouldn't stop and kept going and going. There was a gasping sound, and then there was nothing but the trickling of the machine. Then silence. I opened my eyes. I was standing in a pool of blood in front of that vending machine, my hand on the bloody cardboard cup still in its compartment. On its side, in slanted orange bubbly rain, it said, "Exotic new tastes at the greatest prices, brought to you fresh," with cartoons of trees and animals and stick figures. I felt like I was going to vomit. There was a rattle, and I heard the thud 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 of other parts dropping down within the bottom of the vending machine, probably against the snack door. I didn't even need to look to know what they were. The machine shuddered again, a belated final groan. A small splash and a few drops dripped out of the cup and ran down the sides in my hands. I picked up the cup. Floating on the surface, staring back at me before it sunk down, was a human eye. 45 minutes later, I was in the front seat of Julie's car.
Sorry about being late, little bro. There was a weird power outage, and the streetlights and traffic lights stopped working. I would have called, but my phone's not working.
I stayed silent.
I know you're pissed, but I got here as fast as I could.
She glanced at me, then made a turn. I stared forward dispassionately.
So, are you gonna finish that coffee or what?